Well, welcome back. Today we're talking about It's a Wonderful Light this Christmas season. As you can hear from our description, we're sharing how we have been a wonderful light in our community all year long. Now, earlier I asked, how can you share It's a Wonderful Light this Christmas season? So let's start small. For number one, let's be intentional about our smiles during this season. I think we should give someone a genuine hug if we really believe they need it. So another thing that we can do is from now until Christmas, send someone some words of encouragement every day. Be consistent. Be a secret sister this Christmas. Also, I love this idea. Find a basket and put something in the basket every day until Christmas. It could be a card, it could be a letter, a gift card, ornament, or footies, anything. But on Christmas Day, this is the key. Run by a shelter and just bless someone with your basket. Now, for those of you who like to journal, find a journal and journal your feelings about someone special and present it to them on Christmas Day. So they want me to get moving. So we're going to talk more about those presents that you can give in terms of It's a Wonderful Life later on. We also want to talk a little bit maybe about Deborah Lena Ministries, because it's been a light also all year in the community. I don't want to miss that. This year, our staff mentored single mom Alexis Young on her journey to housing and employment. So let's hear her story. Welcome, Alexis and Regina, to the Tea Room.
Thank you.
Fantastic. So, Regina, you are the Executive Director for Divine Discipleship for Sisters. So I work with you quite closely. Tell me a little bit, first of all, how did we get to outreach as it relates to DLM?
Okay, well, one of our goals for 2016 was to expand more into the community and to reach out to women, the hurting women that we touch in our ministry on each and every day.
Yes.
And so one of the things that I thought we needed to do, or we thought as a team, was to look at some possible grants in the community and find some grants that were working with hurting women. And one of the ones that we found was a grant that was put out by One Congregation, One Family.
Okay.
And this is through the Department of Health and Human Services.
Okay.
And their goal is to help women and families who are homeless or find themselves homeless,
Right.
who are looking for permanent housing,
Okay.
looking for employment. These women are setting goals, and men and women and families are setting goals for themselves, and they're looking to get back into the mainstream.
Okay.
So we thought this was a great opportunity for us to take advantage of this.
Okay.
We were awarded the grant.
Fantastic.
And so we had an opportunity to work with this young lady here, Alexis Young.
Hi, Alexis.
She is our family, and Alexis has been absolutely wonderful.
Aww.
When we first met Alexis, we weren't quite sure what we were going to find. We didn't know whether she was going to be one of those real depressed women and not have any direction, but she was just the opposite. Alexis had goals. When she sat down with us, she said, I know exactly what I want. I need permanent housing. I'm looking for employment. I am looking for a job. I'm looking for, oh God, she had so many little goals for us. And so we knew right then and there that we had the right woman.
Yeah, and you know what's so interesting about that? In our area, in our life, in this space right now, anybody can find themselves in this situation. But it touched my heart when you presented to me that there are actually young ladies out there who really, the stuff that we just know, we've just experienced. It's just rolls off our tongue that there's somebody out there who really need that advice and someone to hold their hand. So I was pretty pleased about that. Wow, Alexis, welcome to Miss Deborah's Tea Room.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just saw you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, fantastic. So tell me a little bit about your journey. How did you get, even before you, we met you or you were assigned to us at DLM, tell us about your journey.
Before I had been introduced to the program, I knew that I wanted to have a career outside of a job. Before I had my daughter at 25 years old, I completed school as a medical assistant. I took ill because I do have a blood disorder.
Okay.
And my gallbladder had to be removed while I was just finishing my internship and rolling into a career. I was a medical assistant for a private office, and I supervised 2 young ladies after being hired for only 2 months.
Wow.
So I felt like I was excelling in what I put my passion and desire in. Long story short, as I took ill one day, I asked him, can I go home early? And he was not willing to let me go home early. So I waited for one of the young ladies that I was supervising. And prior to waiting an hour after speaking to him, I collapsed, and I had to go straight to the emergency room, away from my family, because I was miles away from the district, working in Friendship Heights.
Wow.
As I was recovering from that surgery, I called him to seek if I could get my paycheck, and he blatantly said, yes, you could come. And within probably about 3 minutes to 5 minutes, his wife called and just basically said she hopes I get well, and Dr. Yenny is letting me go. So outside of recovering from a health issue that was out of my control.
You lost your job as well.
Exactly, and I fell into depression.
Right.
But outside of that, I
You
just
were
continued.
on your way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what happens actually in the program, I understand. You don't have to start out homeless, or you don't have to start out, you know, anything can happen.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of young people out there like Alexis that things started well.
Most certainly.
Okay, and this just doesn't happen, I understand, from the program, just from young people. It could be wives who were married and find themselves as widows.
Yes, ma'am.
And because things, you know, wasn't left in a way that they could continue that lifestyle, they find themselves in a position where they need help. So so tell us how you met Regina. What happened then? How did that help?
After that incident, I did become very depressed and seeking work for 1.5 years straight, and no relief. But I continued to pray, and I kept my faith in place, and I continued to ask God, put people in my life that are going to help me, motivate me, encourage me, not those that I'm always encouraging and taking me for granted. He brought Miss Regina in my life alongside my friend who introduced me to the program of One Congregation. Actually, it was someone that was in passing, and I told him a brief insight on what I was going through, and he said, oh, well, I'm going to email you, give me your information, and I'm going to give you a couple resources. And that's how I was blessed upon this program and got involved with Miss Regina.
Yeah. So Regina, real quickly, because they tell me I only have a minute or so here. So tell me, how did we help?
Well, one of the things that she said to me was that I have got to break that generational piece in my family where everybody works for McDonald's and Burger King.
Okay.
I want to do more than that.
Okay.
Again, as I said, she laid her goals out for us very well, and we knew exactly what to do to help. So we relied on resources from the women who had graduated from Divine Discipleship for Sisters.
Fantastic.
We called on them to find out whether or not there was employment in the companies that they worked.
Right.
Some of the other things we did, we had to look for housing. We went to churches in the community where apartments are listed.
Yeah.
So we relied on resources that we knew.
Right, and that's the great thing about having 2,000 plus women who've graduated from the program, because they're eager to help people like Alexis and widows or anyone who find themselves in this position. That's what the DLM, Deborah Lena Ministries outreach is all about. We're in a place where we really do want to help, particularly young people like Alexis. Well, when we come back, we'll share some of our future efforts and offer more advice on how you can share It's a Wonderful Light during this Christmas season.